Okay, today I'm going to show you how to use the built-in GUI builder in Netbeans to create a nice GUI. And on that GUI, we are going to allow the user to convert between Celsius and Fahrenheit temperatures. So to get started, let's make a new project. Select Java application. Next, let's call it temp converter and store it somewhere that we'll remember, and click finish. So over on the left-hand side here, what we want to do is expand the project and the source packages, and then find the package folder. It should be named the same as your project. Right-click on this, select New JFrame Form. Okay. If your Netbeans doesn't display JFrame form, you can select Other and scroll down here until you find Swing GUI Forms and JFrame Form. And then click Next. We should give this a descriptive name. So I'm going to call it a temp GUI. And then click Finish. Okay, so this is the GUI builder window. I apologize for the tiny fonts. I have a high resolution on my computer. Before we start building any GUIs, what we need to do is over here in the package, let's delete the original tempconverter.java because we don't want this anymore. It has a main method in it. So does the GUI that we created. We only want one main method in our program. So get rid of that temp converter. We're going to go delete. Okay, so this is our GUI right now. If we click run, it's going to ask us to choose the main class. You can just click OK. That's what we get, an empty GUI, nothing on it. So let's add some functionality to it. Let's add a button. So all I'm doing here is over in my swing controls, I'm selecting button and dragging it on. Okay. So all of my controls are in the top right. In the bottom right, I have the properties for my button. So let's change the text on that button to say C to F and hit enter. And then let's go ahead and rename this variable. Okay, so under code, we can select the variable name. Let's call this btn C2F and hit enter. Okay, so I have a Celsius to Fahrenheit button. I'm going to create also a Fahrenheit to Celsius button right underneath. Make it the same size. So again, properties, we're going to change the variable names here. We'll call this btn F2C. Should always give your objects descriptive variable names. I put btn as a prefix for that variable name so that I know it's a button. Okay, and the text of this one is going to say F2C. Okay, so we have buttons for the user. We also need some text fields for them to type into. So let's put a text field on the right. And let's call this text field txt Fahrenheit, and let's get rid of all of that text and replace it with a default value. So let's try 0 Fahrenheit for our default value. Also now we'll add a label just so that the user knows what they should put in that text box. So for labels, we change the text to say Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit, and we'll change the name of the label to be LBL. I'm just going to call it LBF. Do the same thing over on the Celsius side. So grab a text field, put it over there, change the name to say txt Celsius. And let's change the text to say 0 as well. make it a little larger so it's easier to type into. And then let's add a label for that side. So the variable name, LBLC, and the text. Oops. Celsius. Okay, so there's a GUI design. Not super pretty, but it's usable. So what we're going to do now is add some actions to the buttons. And to do that, all we do is double click on the button. So I'm going to double click on the C to F button. Oops, double click on the C to F button, and the GUI builder will switch to code view or the source view. You can toggle between them using the source and the design buttons up here. Okay, so the C to F button, you'll see it says here, to do, add your handling code here. This is where we're going to type the code that will actually convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So I'm going to declare two variables, double C and F, one for Celsius, one for Fahrenheit. And the first thing we'll do is get what's in the text field. So to do that, we're converting from Celsius to Fahrenheit, so we want to get the Celsius and set it equal to So what I'm doing here is getting the text from the text field first, and then parsing it directly into a double, so I can store it as a variable. Okay, and then I do my calculation for Fahrenheit. So Fahrenheit is equal to Celsius times 9 divided by 5, adding a 0.0 so that my integer division doesn't happen, plus 32. So that's my calculation. I should add a comment there. Fahrenheit is a hard one to spell. And then I'll display the results. So what I use is the setText method. So I use getText method to grab stuff from my GUI, and I can use setText to put stuff on there. So txt Fahrenheit dot set text, and I can set it to F. Okay, it doesn't like this because F is not a string, it's a double. So what I can do here is just add an empty string at the front and append F to it, concatenate F to it, and that will make it a string. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run this. So I've coded the C to F button. So in Celsius, if I choose 0 Celsius and convert it, that's 32 Fahrenheit. So my program's working. So I'm going to leave the F to C button up to you. Okay, and you're welcome to add any functionality that you might like to this program.